it's my very much pleasure to introduce Dr. Rhonda Scherer. She's from the University of Houston and the Bounce team. Dr. Rhonda has been in higher education for 30 years in physical and nutrition. She is a professor at the University of Houston for public health, and she's part of the Bounce team for 20 years. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Rhonda Scherer.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I have been in higher education, so I've been working with college students forever. A couple of years ago, I got introduced to a nursing home, and I like you guys better. I'm just saying. Sorry. We're so excited to be here. I have been in higher education forever, and it is in health and human performance, and we're so excited to bring you NAP. It's our Nutrition Ambassador Program. It's an opportunity to come and talk to individuals, not just groups like this, but we talk to every group. Our funding source affords us to bring this type of program into communities and help people with their nutrition needs, because we know there's a struggle there, especially with diabetes. Diabetes is one of the leading causes of death. We know diabetes is out there, and this is our way of trying to combat that. So our funding source allows us to do that. And so we are going to do a couple things, but I'd like to introduce my students. So let me let them say hi real quick.
Hi, my name is Juliana Huertas. I'm a senior at the University of Houston, and I'm an intern with the Balance program.
Hi everyone, my name is AJ. I recently graduated from the University of Houston, and I'm also an intern with the Balance program. It is very lovely to be here with you guys this morning.
Always working.
Sorry, I was collecting data. My name is Cesar Villarreal. I'm a senior at the University of Houston, and I'm also an intern. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So thank you for our students. They're going to be here helping us out. So as you can see, we are all about education. We do want to get the word out on proper nutrition, but we're also teaching new educators to go out into the field and do exactly what we're doing. So we believe in education and what we're trying to do today. So today we are going to give you a demonstration of a healthy option, a healthy food. So we're preparing a chicken salad. How many of you ladies have prepared chicken salad? Oh, yay. What's the number one ingredient that binds it all together? Chicken and mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. We're not going to use mayonnaise today. I'm going to give you a substitute today. We're going to use avocado. We're going to use a healthier fat. Yay, thank you. So I don't know if you've seen me. I've been up here chopping and grinding some avocado together. We're going to put some chicken with that. We're going to put some celery. Celery has potassium. We need potassium. That helps us with our water intake and our water balance in our bodies. If you get lightheaded or dizzy, that's a water problem. Okay, or a medication problem, but usually a water problem. So if you find that you're a little lightheaded or dizzy in the morning, before you go to bed, put a water bottle on your nightstand, and before you get out of bed, drink that water bottle. Take your time getting out of bed. You don't have to go to work. I was working in here. So take your time getting out of bed. Drink that water. Let that be your first bottle of water. Ideally, you'd be consuming 4 of those in one day. 14, 16-ounce bottles of water in one day. As we get older, we stop drinking water, and we need our water. So drink your water. So we're going to be, we're going to have celery in there. Celery has the potassium. We're going to use our lettuce. Lettuce is predominantly water. So that's what we're going to prepare for you today. So we're going to prepare something. We're going to then talk about nutrition. I'm going to show you some slides. I'm going to tell you what I really want you to take away from the presentation today, what I want you to really hone in on, because some of the numbers can get kind of confusing or overwhelming. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to exercise. You guys are going to exercise. We're going to burn some calories. We're going to sweat. We've got it going. Yes. All right. And while we're exercising, the team's going to create a dessert for you. And now our dessert is going to be grapes, yogurt, and cinnamon. You're going to love it. It's really good. Okay. This is something I've kept in my fridge for years with my kids as they grew up. So you're going to ask a lot of questions throughout the entire presentation, so I want to hear from you. I'm here for you, so please, if questions come up, don't hesitate to ask. Okay? So that's the plan. You ready? I know you want to exercise first, but we got to do food first, okay? All right. So what I'm preparing here, as I mentioned, we've got avocados. So I smushed the avocados up. That's your healthy fat, and it improves your HDL, which is what we need. So this is a good source. Now I'm going to add my chicken. I'm going to add celery, some lemon, some pepper, and that's it. It's easy, but it's good. What else could you add to this? Apples. Oh, nuts would be good. Apples, onions, nuts, black olives, corn, raisins. You can add whatever you want to add to this. But we're going to start with just these simple ingredients because it was real important to me to bring things that I knew you could make easily. Oh, thank you. All right, so this is just chicken, cooked chicken. So we're adding our chicken. We're going to add some celery, chopped up celery. She's like, I don't want to hit you.
I don't want to hit you, but you all got it ahead of time.
Yes. And we're going to mix this together. Then we're going to add an entire lemon. And you guys are going to love it. We're going to put this on top of our lettuce. Now, while I'm preparing this, one of the things that Caesar's doing where did he go?
He's on the floor.
He's on the floor. There he is. So he is handing out a survey. So we get a funding from our Hispanic Health Coalition, funds this programming for us. And with that, we're able to offer this training all over the place, all over the city. Offer the food, offer the training at no charge to the facility. But to do that, we have to do a survey. So later today, you're going to get a survey, or later, before we exercise, you're going to get a survey. That survey, that's what that does for us. It allows us to get our funding. So we ask that you please take the time. It's not that long, 10 to 15 questions, asking what you learned about today. So we do ask,
They should already have it.
oh, surveys should already be on your table. Thank you. Look, there's a demonstration right there. So if you could please be so kind at the end of our presentation to get that back to us, we would appreciate it. And if you don't, we're going to chase you down, and we're pretty fast. Okay. All right, so we got lemon going here, and that's it. That's the ingredients of our meal. So now we need to get under there and get that avocado mixed in. We're going to put this on a little bit of lettuce and pass this out to you. And that's it. You got the rest?
Yeah.
Oh, and go ahead and put butter. And then we're going to put some ground pepper on top. There you go. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, yeah. And mix it up. Yeah, you want a lot of pepper. And if you need to switch it over to the spoon, you can. All right, that's going to be coming around shortly, and we hope you enjoy it. We want to hear what you think about it. Again, it's just so easy to create a chicken salad, a healthier chicken salad option. You can put this on crackers. We're going to put it on lettuce. You could just put it in a lettuce wrap, have it ready, have it available. My husband said, please bring extra home. So, no, you guys enjoy. I use just regular avocados. Okay, I just grabbed some avocados, a little squishy avocados. You saw they were easier to peel. So I like the fresher the better. So yeah, we just used some avocados, some lemons, chicken, and celery. Okay. Any other questions about the dish that we're about to serve you?
Is the chicken breast, dark meat?
It could be either. It doesn't matter. It's what you enjoy. It's really what you enjoy and what's easy. I mean, I would grab a rotisserie chicken. I cooked this up last night, but a rotisserie chicken, $5, you can't beat that. You could do a rotisserie chicken. You could do chicken breast, chicken legs, whatever you have. And you can prepare as much as you want. Obviously, we're trying to feed 40, 50 people, but do a smaller portion. But this is something that I tend to prepare quite a bit at my house.
And a vegetarian option?
Vegetarian option, you're going to do, tofu would be good, but my favorite vegetarian meal for people are beans. Beans is a wonderful meal. It's one of those that could be served as either a protein or a carb, so you get both benefits. So how many of you are doing a crock pot of beans a week? Oh, thank you. There's my bean eaters back there. Love you. There you go. There you go. Crock pot of beans with some turkey meat, some ground turkey meat all week. That's great. You can eat it as a side. You can eat it in lettuce. It's wonderful. Okay. So beans are going to be the magic meal. That's going to give you both protein, and as we go through the presentation, we're going to talk about the three things we tend to eat. There's three things in our food: fat, carbohydrates, or protein. Okay, as we get older, we need more protein. That repairs our muscles, our organs, so we need more protein. Okay, carbohydrates are energy. Okay, we need carbohydrates. That gives us some energy. We just need the right kind of carbohydrates, and we're going to talk about what that looks like. Okay? But protein should be in everything you eat. Every meal you have, I want you to ask what protein is in this. That repairs your muscles, your organs, and helps with the ligaments and so forth. Okay? AJ, you ready for me? So again, today we're going to talk about the different aspects. Go ahead. So our agenda looks like this. We're going to do our nutrition education that we're preparing for you. We're going to talk about challenges, practical eating tips, preventing and managing chronic conditions, and the importance of physical activity by being physically active. And we'll enjoy that. Go ahead. So the first thing I want to talk about is, what does our plate typically look like? How do we divide that plate up? Ideally, half of your plate is going to be fruits and vegetables, mostly vegetables. When we eat a meal, we tend to not bring fruit into our dinner, which is fine. So let half of that plate be some form of vegetables. Okay? Vegetables are where we get our vitamins and minerals. And we get depleted of vitamins and minerals as we get older, specifically potassium, magnesium, iron. Those are some of the things that we lose. Fiber, those are some of the things we lose. Those are some of the vitamins and minerals we could get in our vegetables. So any kind of vegetable you like, the greener the better, get some vegetables on half of that plate. The other half is going to be grains, whole grains ideally, so wheat type grains, wheat rice, brown rice, wheat pastas, those are going to be our grains. So a quarter of your entire plate, or half of that other side, is going to be grains. And then there's your protein. Your protein is going to be a lean protein source. That's going to be your chicken, your fish, ideally. It might be some of the turkey. Okay? Be careful of the red meats. That's where our cholesterol is found. So cholesterol is what clogs up our heart, clogs up our arteries, causes heart attacks. So be careful of the red meats. But that's what our plate looks like. Half of our plate, vegetables, a quarter grains, the other quarter protein. Now this is not a 12-inch plate. I don't know when we started developing 12-inch plates. They get too big. No, we're looking at 9 inches, a salad plate. 9 inches, you could always go back for more, right? Let's save some of that food for others. So, no, we don't need to do that, right? So a smaller plate, and go back for seconds, versus a big plate with too much food on it. Because when we have too much food in front of us, what do we feel the need to do? Eat. When people ask me what kind of exercise should they do, I tell them this. Put the fork down, okay? But we do need to eat, especially if we're struggling with diabetes. And I won't ask anybody to raise their hand saying they are, but I will tell you, diabetes is a game changer. Because oftentimes when you have diabetes, your entire family has it. Okay? They have it because now we all need to eat differently. So we want to avoid diabetes. And the best way to do that is watching what we eat and exercising. Those are the two preventative measures for diabetes. Okay? So we'll talk more about that. When you hear me say skipping meals or putting the fork down, diabetic has to be careful about that, because you have to eat if you have diabetes. You have to eat every 4 hours with diabetes. You have to be mindful of what you eat. You can't eat a lot of carbohydrates. You can't eat a lot of sugar. So when I tell you to eat fruits and vegetables, as much fruits and vegetables as you want, I have to be careful about saying that to a diabetic. Because strawberries, for example, have a lot of natural sugar. He's shaking his head. He knows what I'm talking about. Has natural sugar that could be bad for people with diabetes. So we want to avoid diabetes for that very reason, because then it's a whole new playbook, whole new game book when we think about diabetes. Okay? So this is what our plate looks like. Good, healthy, lean protein, and we're going to go into more detail of each of these components. Go ahead. Your hand is a great portion size indicator. Okay? So a fist is about a cup. So when I tell you, and a cup is about a serving. So when I tell you I want a serving of broccoli, it's about how much would fit in your fist. So when you look at your plate, that's a serving. Okay? 2 servings would be 2 fists. When you look at spaghetti on a plate, it's not the fist of everyone at the table at your plate. It's just your fist. Just yours. Okay? 1 fist on the plate, that's 1 cup, that's 1 serving. Okay? We overeat. Hopefully you're seeing a pattern here. Huh? You see, I kind of eat, I like 2 fists in it. Okay? 1 fist. All right? The front of your hand, the front of the knuckle area, that's about a half a cup. So 1 cup, half a cup. Okay? When you're looking at measuring. So when you don't have a measuring cup, you're at a restaurant, and you're looking how much did they serve you, chances are it exceeds the measuring tools you have on your hand. Okay? Your palm is about the serving of a protein. 1 serving of meat is about this size. Oh, I know. You're starving already. This is why we're supposed to eat throughout the day. We're supposed to have smaller meals throughout the day, not 1 big gigantic one, because 1 big gigantic turns into 2 or 3 big gigantic ones, right? A big breakfast, a big lunch, a big dinner. You can see how we're over-consuming. Okay? We have to be mindful of how much and what exactly we're eating. Okay? Teaspoons. So a knuckle is a teaspoon. Down to this knuckle is a tablespoon. Okay? We try to think of everything right here on your one hand. Go ahead. So let's start with carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the main source of energy. They're very important for the brain. The body turns the carbohydrates into glucose, which is why carbohydrates are often seen as bad, especially for someone with diabetes. But they're not. It's the kind of carbohydrates you eat. We're going to talk about a simple carbohydrate and a complex carbohydrate, okay, what those look like. But carbohydrates, those are ones that we can reduce. We don't need to eat pasta, and we do not need a donut. If anyone tells you otherwise, they are lying. We do not need carbohydrates, okay, in that form. We're going to eat the better carbohydrates. But guess what? Carbohydrates can be found in everything. Our fruits and vegetables, carbohydrates. Okay? So when you're looking for energy and you're looking for carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables, that's the avenue. That's where we're going to go. Okay? Go ahead. So the different kinds of carbohydrates are simple carbohydrates, which is what we tend to crave. Sugar is one of the worst things you could put in your body. It is only second to smoke. Smoke and sugar, man-made sugar, smoke and man-made sugar kills cells. It destroys cells. Okay, we consume it, it destroys cells, and it's addicting. Both smoking and sugar are addictive components. So we want to limit or avoid entirely sugar, man-made sugar, and smoke. So our carbohydrates are sugary drinks, cakes, donuts. Okay? So when we talk about sugar, we're talking about 2 types. We're talking about man-made sugar. That's the sugar like the granulated sugar that we put into things. The brown sugar. Okay? And brown sugar is not better than white sugar. Don't let anybody lie to you. They're both sugar. Okay? It's not like wheat bread and white bread. No. Both of them are bad for us. That's just where they come from. Okay? So we want to avoid that. Natural sugar is what's found naturally in our fruits and vegetables. Natural. God made that sugar. Okay? That's a good sugar. Unless you have diabetes. Unless we have destroyed our body in ways that doesn't produce enough insulin to help us regulate that sugar. Okay? But natural sugar is what comes out of the earth. It's what in our apples, it's in our grapes, it's natural. And your body naturally knows how to take care of that. It's the man-made sugar that trips the body up. So natural sugar is fine. I don't want you to worry about natural sugar. I want you to worry about added sugar. In a moment, we're going to get to a food label, and you're going to see added sugar. I want you to avoid added sugar. Added sugar is the man-made sugar. Natural sugar is God-made sugar, okay? So figure out which one and choose the right one. Very good. Go ahead. Complex carbohydrates, these are good for us, okay? We don't want to overconsume these. We can overconsume pasta. We don't want to overconsume these. These are going to be whole grains, oats, brown rice, and whole wheat bread, beans, fruits, and vegetables. Okay? Yes, you can overconsume, but these are better for us. This is your energy. This is a third of your plate. Okay? That's what we're looking for. I'm sorry, half of your plate is vegetables, and that other quarter are these grains, complex carbohydrates. Okay? These are good for us. There's 3 ways you get energy: food, exercise, and sunshine. Okay? Those are the 3 places you get energy from. We need to be outside about 20 minutes every day. 20 minutes every day will get you all the vitamin D you need. Okay? 20 minutes a day. Use your sunscreen, but 20 minutes a day in the sun gets you about what you need. That could get you off of a vitamin D supplement. Okay? The other is food and exercise. All right? So we'll talk more about that. Our fiber, that's the body's broom. That helps just clean out our digestive system, our digestive system. Okay? So fiber is what we want to look for. Special kinds helps with digesting, feeling full, promotes healthy gut, helps lower cholesterol. These are some about 5 teaspoons a day for females, about 7 teaspoons a day for men. You get your fiber in skin of vegetables. So that apple, eat the apple skin. Okay? Anytime you see somebody trying to peel that skin off, leave that in, that's fibrous. Okay? Potato skins, leave the skin on. Eat the skin. That's going to have the fiber in it. So apple skin, pears, grapes, anytime you have a hard skin on the outside, that's fibrous. Okay? So eat the skin of those. So that's fiber. Fiber is going to help us. We need to consume more fiber. Go ahead. Fiber sources: fruits, vegetables, whole grains, brown rice, oatmeal, whole wheat bread, beans and legumes, nuts and seeds. Those are also very fibrous foods. Notice that I tend to say fiber touched the ground, fiber touched the earth. The soil that touched that is where we bring our fiber in. So anything that was in the soil is going to have some fiber to it. Okay? And you notice that most of these do. All right? So fiber is going to be good for us. Go ahead. Protein. All right, I can't push enough protein. We really love protein. So palm size is about 20 to 30 grams. People often ask me, how much protein do I need? And I work with college kids, so they want to be big and buff and, okay? So I tell them, eat your weight in protein. Okay, so if you're 120 pounds and you eat 120 grams of protein, okay? Now that's a college kid that's running around, okay, staying up all night, doing all the things they do, okay? We don't need to eat as much as that. So for you, I'd say half of your body weight in protein, okay? Half of your body weight in protein, ideally. We want to consume more protein. Okay? That's going to help with our muscles. We start losing our muscle mass in our early 20s. I haven't been there in a while. I don't know about you, but because you lose muscle mass, you have to regain it. You have to build it. And we're going to do that in a little bit. I know you're excited. You're about ready. Yes, ma'am.
I have a lot of questions about protein.
Okay.
There are so many products out now that have put protein into the product. I can't believe that you're going to, well, they say you're going to get, 10 grams of protein if you eat this cereal.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the reason is because a lot of people don't want to prepare meat. So if you're not going home and preparing meat and getting that chicken out in time to cook it that night, then you may be looking for protein sources, absolutely. But if you're preparing the chicken at night, if you're preparing a meal, then you don't need the added protein. You're consuming the protein on your own.
But is that protein just as good?
I like to say more natural protein is going to be better because you have to be careful what's put into anything that's added. Yeah, so I would want you to read a food label to see what, if you can't understand what's in that, then avoid it.
Normally you can't.
And normally you can't, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there's also all this protein in dairy, in yogurt, and in milk. And now they even have this A2 protein. Do you know what that means?
Well, it's just fortified. It's additional fortified protein. Dairy automatically has protein in it because it comes from an animal. So dairy has it. When you start adding it is when you start adding some of the chemicals that you're talking about. You don't need to add it. Okay?
A2 they say now is natural, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I never heard of that.
Yeah. Natural, again, I always say if it's on a farm, then eat it.
A2 is not from the farm.
A2 is not on a farm. If it comes from a lab, avoid it. If it's on a farm, eat it. Whether it comes from the ground on a farm or it was taken care of on a farm, then that's what you want to eat. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Does it matter if you drink like lactose-free milk?
Well, our body does, some of us have lactose issues, so yes, so you may want to drink lactose reduced or lactose-free products so that your body doesn't have, a negative reaction to it. So it's usually dependent on the person.
But you still get your fruit.
Yeah, you're definitely still getting your protein. You're just avoiding the lactose that's in that. Yes, ma'am.
I'm having a little trouble seeing the whole picture. Can you tell us some of those pictures? What's that bottom green thing?
That's going to be beans. Yeah. Beans, nuts, peanuts, broccoli, beef. So it looks like just a picture, but it's predominantly protein. So you get protein in your beans and nuts. That's why beans are the best. Beans are both in the carbohydrate and the protein category.
What about edamame?
Edamame's a bean. Yeah, edamame's very good. Yeah, absolutely. Just be careful with the edamame. They load it with salt. So be careful with the salt. People will suck the salt off and then get the edamame out. If you can avoid the salt, the sodium's going to be. I say that. Remember I told you about sugar? We need salt. You need about a teaspoon of salt a day. Okay? I know we get way more than a teaspoon of salt a day, but we need about a teaspoon of salt. You do not need any sugar. There's nowhere in there that says you need sugar like it says you need protein and salt. Okay? All right. So protein's what we're going to do. Repairs tissues. Here's some good sources of protein. Oh, these are about to come out. You ready? Go ahead. Yeah. You have chicken, eggs, beans, fish. Simple ways. If you can't, again, it goes back to her comment earlier. If you can't prepare these things, you're not able to prepare them or you don't have them accessible to you, protein, fish, beans, eggs, if you're not able to prepare those, this is when we do go to substitutes, like protein shakes, like Boost, Ensure, smaller meals. String cheese is a staple in my house. Grab a stick of string cheese. You're going to get some protein and some dairy there. So these are great sources for you of protein. Okay? Go ahead. Eggs, white, that's eggs and, I know, it is. Beans and yogurt. Thank you. Okay, go ahead. Fat. Fat is what we call the cushion nutrient. We need fat. So again, the only thing you do not need is sugar. I keep saying that, sugar. You don't need sugar. I know, really? But I like it. It gives your body energy and helps absorb vitamins and keeps your skin and hair healthy. So about 27 grams per day, which isn't a lot. It would be probably about a half a cup of fat. It's not a whole lot of 27 grams. So I'm going to show you some things that have fat in them. We're going to get to that food label first. You guys have enough? You going to have enough? You don't have? Yeah, ask him. Okay. We don't have enough forks. We ran out of forks. Do you know how many? Okay, they're going to get some more forks first. So 3 main types of fat. We have our unsaturated and our saturated fat. Our unsaturated is the healthy fat. That's where you're going to get your avocados, your olive oils, your fish oils, your chia seeds oils, your flax seeds. That's your unsaturated fat. That's what we call healthy fat. That increases our HDL fat, so we want healthy fat. We need healthy fat in our diet. The saturated fats, the fats cut off of meat, butter, full-fat cheese, and milk. And then our trans fat, we always want to avoid trans fat. That is like pure lard. It's packaged in snacks, fried foods, and baked goods. So we want to limit that amount of types of fat. So processed foods are going to have a lot of saturated and trans fat in them. I mentioned the sodium to you, and I don't mean to speed through this, but I want to get to our food label because that's where I hope you have a lot of questions. So our sodium, it balances fluids, it helps nerves work, and it helps muscles move. Too much can increase blood pressure, increase risk of heart disease, and we need about 1 teaspoon of salt a day. Okay? Some of us need salt substitutes, right? Because we're getting way more than 1 teaspoon a day. So salt substitutes are great. Look for them to reduce or have no sodium in them. All right, here's a food label. Again, I apologize, it's kind of hard to read. So first we're going to look at the nutrition facts on the top. Serving size, this has 8 servings per container. The serving size is 2/3 of a cup. So 2/3 of a cup, that's 1 serving. Not many of those we're eating, right? Unfortunately, I do not know what this food labels goes to, but looking at it, I thought I guessed that it was like a macaroni and cheese, but it was, we're not usually eating just 2/3 of a cup of macaroni and cheese. So be careful what you eat. So the first thing we're going to look at, this packaging has 8 servings. 2/3 of a cup is 1 serving. And every one can be different. Every label could be different. I remember one time picking up some green olives. Green olives. How many of those do you eat at one time? Green olives. The serving was 1.5 olive. Like, I'm going to really take a bite and put it back. Okay, 1.5 is a serving of some green olives. But again, if I pick up another container of other green olives, it'll say, no, two green olives is a serving. Or no, 1 is a serving. But usually, green olives, black olives are going to be, just a couple of them is considered a serving. So never think, because we'll tend to think, if it fills me up, it's a serving. No, doesn't work that way. All right, so there's 230 calories per serving. So there's 230 calories, there's 8 servings to this. So we're looking at close to 1,800 calories for this package, whatever this package is. Yeah, so it's quite a bit of calories in this one package. So 230 calories per serving. Okay, now let's go down. The first yellow, what you see here, is what I want you to avoid or have very low numbers of. And that's going to be your total fat, saturated and trans, your cholesterol, and your sodium. Now, I could sit here and tell you a number for each of those. You need 220 carbohydrates, 220 saturated fat. I could tell you numbers. You won't remember those. I want you to remember 2 numbers. 5%. If it's less than 5%, see that far category that says daily percentage? If it's 5 or low, that's considered low in that item. So if the fat is 5% or low, then it's low in fat. If the sodium is 5% or lower, it's low in sodium. Okay? That would be a good item to pick. If it's 20 or higher, that's a high item. So if the fat has 20% fat for that day, that's high. So let's see what this has. This has 10% fat. Well, that's right on the border, right? You have to ask, And so I want you to have a conversation with yourself when it's between 5 and 20. When it's over 20, I want you to put it back. Okay? That's a bad item. When it's under 5, put it in your cart. That's a good item. Okay? I say that, I need to be careful making a blanket statement, but for the most part, if it's 5 or low, it's low in that. If it's 20 or up, it's high in that. So that's 10 grams of total fat, 1 gram of saturated fat, 0 trans fat. Okay, so it doesn't have the fat that's going to clog my arteries. It only has 1 gram, so it's 10. So if I were trying to lose weight, a 10-gram item, I may put it back. If I'm happy with my weight, a 10-gram item in fat, I may keep it. Okay. I may ask, what else am I going to eat today? Okay? So those are the conversations I'm having when it's on the border. Let's keep going. So carbohydrates, it has 13% carbohydrates, 14% fiber, 14% fiber. Now we're getting into things that I want high numbers. So on the bottom, including fiber, the green ones, that's your, it says, I'm sorry for those in the back, it says dietary fiber, vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium, those numbers I want high. Okay, so it says fiber is 14%. That's a good fiber source. Okay, it's not quite 20, but it's close. My vitamin D says 10%, my calcium says 20%. What do you think is going to have on this packaging? High in calcium. It's going to probably have a big packaging label that says, this is a great calcium source. If you need calcium, buy me. Okay? So, because it has 20% calcium. That's good. So, two numbers I want you to remember on your food label. 5 means low, 5% low, 20% high. I want high in these lower numbers. I want low in the top numbers. That can be, you can remember that, right? That's good. So then let's see, what else do we have? We have, so our carbohydrates, we have total sugars, includes 10 grams of added sugar. What did I just tell you about added sugar? Out. Out. Okay? The added sugar is worse for you than the added calcium. Okay? So I want you to make good decisions when you pick up a food label. Okay? Added sugar is man-made sugar, kills your cells, makes you addictive to sugar. We want to put that item back. Okay? Try to get that number as low as possible. Okay? But 10%, that's 20% added sugar. Let me make sure I'm reading it right. 20% includes 20% of your added sugar. So is this high on the added sugar level? Yes. Okay, so we're going to remember 5 and 20. What else on this? All right. It has 3 grams of protein. Now notice we don't have a percentage on the protein. It usually does, but that is a low protein source. So 3 grams, it would be a percentage, probably a 0.75. That's why they don't put it. If it's less than 1%, they won't put the percent on the side. So you know this is a low source for protein. It depends on what you're wanting. What are you needing? If you're needing iron, get something with high iron. If you're needing calcium, get something with high calcium, but not at the expense of these other categories. Okay? Questions about food labels? Easier to, yes ma'am.
Does the potassium counteract the sodium? Is that why they're adding potassium?
It doesn't counteract potassium. Both of them are going to regulate your fluids, okay? But potassium is a more natural way to regulate fluids than sodium. Sodium can also deplete you of fluids. So sodium's one of those that you could overdo it, okay? Whereas potassium is putting fluids back in and it's regulating your fluids. So both of them deal with fluids. One, though, can go too far. You can't go too far with potassium. It's one of those naturals, okay? Even though salt is natural, it goes too far. I'm sorry. Okay. What else? Did you learn something new about a food label? Okay. Is it easier to read a food label now? You know what you're looking for. Okay. Those top numbers, we want them low. Those low numbers, we want them high. Okay? Because those are vitamins and minerals. Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering about the wheat versus white.
Wheat versus white?
Is it really healthier?
Well, it's in the bleaching process. So when we have white rice and we have white bread, we've bleached that product and taken out the nutrients that we get with the wheat and the darker grains. Okay, so it's the bleaching process. It's the whole processing. And which is what we do. We want to avoid processed foods. Okay? An apple, I just told you, is I try to eat an apple a day. I love apples. I try to eat one. My students even bring me an apple. They think it's so funny that they see me walking around campus eating an apple. Eat apples, okay? But what have I done with an apple? When I take an apple, I peel it, I slice it up, I put it in a pie pan on top of a crust. I put cinnamon and I put sugar. What did I just make? I made an apple pie. Okay? Okay? We process food ourselves. So oftentimes when I ask people, what is processed food? They say McDonald's. Yes, McDonald's processes their food. They say packaging. They look at the packaging in the grocery stores. You know, when cookies are processed. You take cream and you process things. We process foods, I'm sorry, I'm hitting the mic. We process foods as well when we make an apple pie. Keep it as natural as possible. That apple is very healthy, but I have had students tell me, Dr. Scherer, I ate an apple today. It was an apple pie from McDonald's, but I ate an apple. No, all the health out of that apple has been taken out. One, by peeling it. Remember, you peeling it, you're taking half of the nutrients. The second was you put sugar on it, and you put it in between a crust, and you baked it. So you baked all the nutrients out of that apple. It's no longer a healthy option for you. Okay? Keep your food as natural as possible. Yes, ma'am.
Can you speak about the difference between having fruit and having a smoothie or a juice versus the
Sure.
fruit itself?
Well, it depends on how you prepare it. Now, first off, you want to try to avoid drinking your calories because when the body chews, it sends a message to the brain that you're eating. Okay? I'm eating something, I'm going to be full. When you drink, you don't get the same. Drink is associated with thirst. Okay? So when you drink, the body says, I'm not thirsty anymore, but I'm still hungry. Okay? So it first off is the mechanism of how we do it. Second is if you're preparing a smoothie and you start adding things to it, you're processing that fruit. So if I put strawberries and kiwi in my blender, but then I add milk, but I add whole milk, so I'm adding some sugar in there, and then I might add some other things to it, I'm processing that fruit. So I may be changing what that fruit is offering. Most part, those smoothies tend to just be the fruit itself. So a smoothie's not a bad option at all.
But you don't get the fiber of the...
If you peel it, yes. But you're still getting, if you just throw that whole apple in there with the peel, you're going to get the fiber. Yeah, because it's in the seal.
So if you add these supplements like the cassava or these other protein stuff, does that affect the dynamics of it? It's going to just be more?
It's going to be more, yeah. It's taking away. It's when you take something away. If I peel that apple, throw the peel away, put the apple, that's when I'm taking the fiber away. Okay? If I just keep adding, that's fine. It's the chemicals in those products that you might be mentioning that I'd be more worried about.
Okay, so should you just not have them?
And it depends. You don't want to read the label. You'd want to know every one of those items that's in there. Make sure that there's not chemicals that the body, it should be natural chemicals to the body. Okay, so if it's just protein, for example, I'd say that's fine because the body knows how to process protein. But if it's chemicals added to the protein that's supposed to compound the proteins or do special things to the protein, I don't know that, so I'm not going to eat that.
Have like the cinnamon or the turmeric, that's okay?
Very natural, yeah, those are out of the ground, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am?
Could you substitute honey?
Honey is a healthier natural source. It does have high calories just because it's a natural sugar. It's better than the man-made sugar, absolutely. Yes, sir.
Canned vegetables versus frozen vegetables.
What do you think?
Okay.
Canned versus frozen versus fresh.
Fresh, frozen, canned.
Okay, how did that fresh get to that grocery store? On a big truck in Texas heat.
No, they're all.
Frozen is your best choice. Okay, because oftentimes when they take a frozen product, they take it straight to the processing and they chop it up and they freeze it. So frozen's your best, which is awesome, finally.
But if
you grow it yourself, that's the best. Yeah, that's the best. That's why the water bottles, and I know I just told y'all to drink water bottles, but I would rather drink out of my faucet than a water bottle, because that water bottle had to be transported to Walmart via a hot truck. Plastic breaks down, that water bottle has chemicals in it now. Okay, that's not the healthiest for your body. Please don't stop drinking water. Okay, it's still healthier than no water, but ideally faucet water is going to be better for you. Okay, yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
back to sugars. Things like Splenda and stuff like that, is it bad for us?
It's chemicals, so yes. Is it worse than sugar? In my opinion, no, but that's a personal decision you'd have to make. Sugar, I've just seen so many studies how detrimental sugar is. We believe that if we got rid of sodas in high school, we could eliminate childhood obesity. If you can eliminate childhood obesity, you could curb adult obesity. So sugar is horrible for us. Splenda and those are better. Stevia is a natural substitute, so stevia is the best of the Splenda's artificial sugars, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
And stevia can be grown here in Houston, Texas.
Yes, stevia is grown in Houston. Very good. All right. How are we doing? Are we good on time? I know I'm a little over. I want to make sure.
We got another question.
Am I okay to keep going?
Yeah, one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
How about ultra-pasteurized? Like ultra-pasteurized milk?
I would need to look that up more closely than to spout out something. Again, I look for more natural. When I start seeing things that I feel like they're complicating the situation, and I start raising an eyebrow about it. I'd have to look that one up for you, for sure. Yes, ma'am.
You know, almost all your milk, it's hard to find them. Not all your pasteurized.
Oh, yeah.
And all of your coffee creamers
Yeah.
and everything,
Yeah.
they last for 2 months.
And that's why, yeah, that's what I'd be worried about, what they're putting in it to, because the marketing, they're trying to keep it on the shelf as long as possible, okay? And that's what you have to worry about. So you're looking for additives that make that happen. All right, yes?
Do you have a suggestion on maybe what you can do to use more natural creamer if you need that, or vanilla or whatever you might need to sweeten your coffee because you don't think it's black, you know?
So she's asking, what would I suggest to sweeten your coffees, or to what kind of creamers to use? I look for the no sugar. I mean, if hopefully you walk away knowing 3 things. 5 is low, 20 is high, and no sugar. So I look for no sugar. Honestly, if it doesn't have sugar and it has an ingredient that I'm not so sure about, I will buy it because it has no sugar. Sugar's the worst thing in that ingredient list above all. So I do a no sugar. I make my own ice cream. My kids didn't really know ice cream for a long time because I take a banana that's about to go bad, I peel it and I freeze it. So I have a freezer full of frozen bananas that were a little soft. I know some of you make banana bread, but that has sugar. So I make ice cream. I take my bananas, I freeze them. Please peel them before you freeze them. You do not want to peel a frozen banana. Okay, peel it, put it in the freezer. Then when I take it out, I take creamer, 0 sugar creamer. They sell it at Aldi, they sell it at Walmart. It has a big blue label that says no sugar. So it's hazelnut or vanilla, no sugar creamer. And I put about 3 teaspoons in a blender, and I blend it to the consistency of ice cream. It's amazing. Tastes just like banana ice cream, okay? Banana ice cream with just a little bit of cream, and just add what you need. Just keep adding a little bit until you get the texture you want. And what's great is you can make as much as you want. You can make 1 serving of ice cream, banana ice cream, eat it for your dessert. It's banana, it has potassium, it's great. Yes, ma'am.
What about when it says fat-free? Is it really fat-free?
It can be fat-free. Look at the label. It can very well be fat-free, but it could be loaded with sugar to make it taste better. So look at the other ingredients. You need to be looking at what you need and what you don't need. All right.